Hi everyone, my name is Mallory Poff. I am a junior here at Elon University, and I was recently on the Tanzania trip about wilderness and adventure-based therapy. I just wanted to take a few minutes to reflect on my trip and my experience because this trip for me was definitely different than a lot of other students. Like, we all had very different experiences while we still had those shared hardships and encounters throughout our time in Africa. However, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my personal growth that I had. That was really, really cool, especially now that I've been back in the States for a few more weeks. If I think a month now, which is really crazy to think that it's only been a month since I was in Africa. But yeah, so a little bit about me is I'm from Naples, Florida, a small town in Southwest Florida, born and raised. I never left the country until college. And so I grew up very small town. And another thing about me is I don't like to travel. I have never really liked flying on planes. I don't do well on car rides, trains. I get car sick, bus sick, all this stuff. Flying, I have never liked the whole being at an airport, flying on a plane. I'm usually in a lot of pain on flights with my ears and all the stuff that I have childhood memories of that now have impacted my adult life, where I just don't like traveling. But in January 2020, I actually decided to go to Italy in my freshman year of college with 14 other honors students. And that was the first time for me flying on long flights and going out of the country in that way. And while the travel days sucked, the trip experience and when we were there and seeing a different culture and different environment was so worth it to me that I was like, okay, I can do it again. I can try this again. And then come spring of my sophomore year, saw that this trip was happening, or this was an offering for Elon's J term. And I was like, okay, we'll sign up and see how it goes. And I ended up getting accepted. Turns out a few of my other friends actually got accepted as well, which made me more comfortable going so far away. And as we progressed in the course, it still was going to happen. And then we departed in January of 2022 to Tanzania in Africa. And I was very proud of myself for for doing the shots and the vaccines to get on the plane to get into the country, as well as to get on the plane to get over there. Because if you had told middle school Mallory that she was going to go to Africa one day, she would have said, no, you're crazy. She won't get on a plane, first of all, and she won't do the doctor's appointments and the shots and all of that stuff to do that, because that's just too much for her. That's not her at all. She is very much a homebody, stays and does that. So for me to be able to say that I've done this is a really big accomplishment for me, just to get to Africa in the first place, which is an awesome thing for me. And then on top of that, going to Africa and being with the people there really opened my eyes to just a different culture in such a different way, as well as just meeting the people there and how amazing they were, and also giving me some insight on maybe a possible career opportunities or even missionary opportunities, because I am a Christian. I have been that way my whole life and been raised that way, and I do believe in that faith, and I keep pushing myself in that faith. But I never thought I'd be able to do missionary work outside of the country. I always thought I'd be one of the people who could do it in the state, or wherever state I live in, and that's it for me. I'm not gonna be the one to travel. But this experience changed that to where I now have felt called that, you know what, maybe one day I will go back, or I'm hoping I will go back, but I want to go back one day and do missionary work, whether it's just helping people in any way, shape, or form there, or specifically with my major of engineering and my interest in design and building, going there and building things for the people, because they don't necessarily have those resources, while they are not necessarily in poverty in the way that we think of poverty with the American lens. It's really interesting, and really I could be really impactful one day possibly by going over there. And when I would talk with the guides and the porters, when I would say engineering, they would be like, oh, you could come over and build houses or build things. And I never had thought of that before, because I was like, I have my path here in the States, and now that has changed, which is really cool to have another option. Definitely more options, I guess, is probably better in the long run, even though it makes things a little overwhelming right now. But it was a really awesome experience for me to speak with the locals there and hear that like that is something that at least those people would like could see, like talking to a student who's interested in that, telling her you could come here and do that, was really, really impactful on me, and I think something that will stick with me for a really long time. But yeah, that's just a little summary of my like personal growth on this trip that I would have never expected for me to say, I want to go back to Africa. I want to go climb this mountain again. I want to go meet more locals there. I want to go live in like a local village or with a local family and help them either build a school, build a water well. I'm interested in renewable energy as well, bringing solar energy that's cheaper and more efficient to them so that way they can power things. Not necessarily like who even knows, but just that, besides having the class aspect of this experience and like doing the wilderness and adventure-based therapy that I didn't know I needed, getting to have these personal growth, getting to have these two really big growths in my life has been really, really cool, and it's definitely changed me as a person, as an individual, made more confident in myself that like things that I once thought I would be too scared to do, I just did something that I never thought I would do in a million years. And so I think that has really impacted and grown my confidence in myself, which is really, really cool to see a visible change in feeling. But yeah, just a little bit about me and my story in Tanzania. Thanks for watching.